Other more important personality traits that you might have. Like for example, listening is an amazing trait. Okay? It sounds so simple, but someone who can sort of listen to what another person says before having to interject and say something, it's an amazing quality. Try to develop that. Okay? Listening is an amazing quality. Like that, there are so many. Okay? So your homework is to think about, can we move to the next slide, please? Yeah, okay. So your homework is to figure out there's nothing on the slide yet. I do this all the time because I don't want you focusing on the slide all the time, right? I want you to listen. Okay, so 3 qualities, 3 traits that you think define you as a person. Give that about 10 seconds and try to write at least 1 down, but when you go back to your dorms, fill it up with 2 more. 3 is a good number to start with. Take about 10 seconds and write down a trait. It doesn't have to be an exact adjective, just a trait about yourself that you think is important for someone to know about you in order to gauge you as a person, not just academic, okay? We're talking about holistic. Done? 1 quality, okay? And go back and think about 2 more. What is the purpose of the application essay, right? You've already sent them your mark sheets, you've already sent them SAT scores, name it, all the quantitative stuff is done. I'm going to tell you what an admissions committee looks like, okay? So you get an idea of how these people are, what are they good at, what are they looking for. So think about the deadlines. Usually deadlines are when? When is the most popular deadline? December. December, right? What is the season in the US in December? Winter. Winter. Think about a wintry day, snowing mostly in most parts. Think about a bunch of admission committee people sitting in a room with stacks and stacks and stacks of applications from all over the world with enough coffee to get them through it. Okay? This is what an admission committee looks like in any university. Okay? They're all sitting together. They're all going to look at all these applications that are in front of them. And they normally will start off from anywhere. It is not necessary that they will only start from your academics. Sometimes they're, it can get frustrating, it can get monotonous after a point. Everybody's human. So one aspect that actually helps them is the application essay, right? It's something fun to read about the student, more than just looking at, scores, academics. It's important, okay? I'm not saying it's not. But this is more interesting for them to read. So if you keep it as interesting as possible, it's going to help them also, right? And it's going to help you in turn. So the idea is to write an effective application essay to impress that admission committee. If you hear me saying ADCOM, it's admissions committee, okay? I just shortened it. So they want to know you better, qualitatively, okay? It is not about what you want to study. It is not about what you have studied in terms of marks. But it is about, can you think critically, right? Can you put your thoughts together? Can you convey what you exactly want to say? Hey, that rhymed, okay. Can you sort of relate to what's important or what you're saying is important to you, right? Is your story matching to what's important to you? So relatability is important. Don't forget that they are going to assess your language skills, but the language skills is only in terms of you being able to communicate effectively. It is not about using those big words, right? That's for your SAT. Here you're going to keep it as simple as you can. You can use language, but it's not about filling it up with Mr. Shashi Tharoor-like language, right? He's amazing. He's an amazing person who can speak. But I'm just telling you that you don't need to go that far. for your application essay. You have already showcased yourself in that realm as part of your SAT scores. Okay? So they're going to assess language skills. So you cannot afford to have typos, grammatical errors which are serious, like tense related, plurals, those kind of things that you have to be able to figure out that, or rather understand that there are tons of students applying from all over the world. You need to stand out, right? And the one way in which you can stand out is by sort of conveying what you want to convey in the simplest, best possible way. I'm doing a lot of rhyming today, I don't know why. Anyway, so that's the first thing I want to tell you, okay? Let's move to the next slide. Now we're going to do a little storyboarding session. I'm going to give you an insight into how I would work with you in order to help you put out the best application essay, or rather choose the best application, choose the best prompt to write an application essay which pertains to your interests, okay? No topic is powerful or not powerful, it's not like that. It depends on what you want to say. So, remember I said think of 3 traits, right? You wrote down 1, you still have time to write the other 2. Now I want you to think about events that have happened until now which helped you develop that trait. Think about an event. Just think about that one trait you have right now, but think about, you don't need to share it with me. You don't need to share it with anyone, okay? This is your personal story. Unless you want someone to actually review it, you're not obligated to share this. Think about an event. It could be personal, it could be academic, it could be anything. Sometimes there's one particular event that changes your entire story from then on, right? I'll share something with you because I don't mind, it's been a while. I was a school topper in my 10th standard, okay, in CBSE. And then I moved on to matriculation. At that time, everybody said if you move to a state board, you can get more marks, right? So my parents didn't know too much about that, so they went with the flow, and I went to state board. Unfortunately, that curriculum did not work for me. I'm a person who likes to do a lot of things at the same time, extracurriculars. I just like sport, but in that school we were more academic focused only, right? So it sort of burned me out. I couldn't just keep studying all the time. I needed something to sort of vent as well, right? You need an outlet. How many of us like music and we do something about music? Okay, any people who play an instrument? Are you trained in it, or are you just playing it because of interest? That's enough. Interest is all that matters. You don't need to be trained in it unless you want to develop it. Nowadays, there's YouTube videos you can self-train, right? So any extracurricular activity is so important for you for that holistic development. I did not have that in my 11th and 12th, which sort of made me go down in my grades. Okay? And I went into this place which was not fun because I was not doing well academically. The school was concerned because I was a topper in my previous school, and I come here and I'm not doing well, right? And then I met this amazing teacher, Mrs. Kaveri Padmanabhan. I'll always be grateful to her. She was my chemistry teacher who made me understand that that's not the end of the road, right? When you're not doing too well, there's still time for you to pick up the pace because it's going to affect you at the end of the day, right? When you move on,